Good afternoon, this is Mitch Tarr, CEO and founder of ZinMarketing.com, and I thought today we would see what we could learn from the nasty spammers that are out there that are placing emails in your inbox all day long. And a lot of them end up in your spam folder, and I'll show you what was in my spam folder, and we'll see what we can learn from these characters today. So, most people don't want to be viewed as a spammer. You have this perception in your head of what spamming means, and it's a negative perception 99.9% of the time for y'all. But you want to make sure that you don't do things that the spammers do. At the same time, spam hasn't gone away in the last 10 years. It's still prevalent and it still works. That's why people do it. So there's a trade-off, or there's a dilemma, a catch-22, if you remember that story. And the catch-22 is you don't want to be perceived as a spammer, yet the spamming works because they continue to do it. So let me show you some examples of pure, unadulterated spam, raw spam, and see what we can learn from them for our legitimate permission-based marketing. So here's an example. This isn't my inbox, this is my spam folder. So in, let's see, I think this is in Yahoo. So in Yahoo Mail, this is just a snippet of the spam messages that I've got. And something interesting that you would notice here, I pointed it out, the from address kind of makes you suspicious right off the bat. And half of getting an email noticed is getting the from address correct. For example, when people are making a decision, a fast decision, a really split-second decision to stop and look at your email or even to open it up, they're going to look at the from email address. If it's from their mom, they're going to read it. If it's from their wife, they're going to read it. If it's from their boss, they're going to read it. If it's from you and they don't know you, they might not even look at it. They might delete it right there, or they might let it go until they have some point in the future to come back and look at it. But if people are in a rush, the from address plays a big part of whether or not they're going to take a look at it. So when I look at these from addresses, they kind of all look a little suspicious to me. And none of them look really like legitimate emails. So the lesson you can learn here is make your from address look like it's from somebody that the recipient would know. And if you build a relationship with them, they will come to know you. If your information is good and relevant, they will come to expect to hear from you, and they won't mind you being in their inbox. So that's kind of what a subsection of my spam folder looks like. The from address is a dead giveaway. Now here's a message. I just happened to open this one up off the same folder. And the subject line, the from is somebody I didn't know, but it's made to look like I might know Catherine from somewhere. I didn't, but I looked at this one. The subject line says, "We recommend." Curious, maybe enough to get me in there. Certainly will be enough to get some people in there. And then right away it talks, it's got a hi there. As a trader, you might always compare different trading platforms. And it starts to talk about Forex trading with the check it out here. It's got a regards from Catherine underneath it. And basically this message is kind of not solicited, and it's got the proper unsubscribe link in it, and that's a good thing. Even the spammers will put an unsubscribe link in their messages to make sure that they are can spam compliant. But this message is basically a nice, simple text. They've made it look a little bit like it could be something that I would be familiar with. They've kept it short so I can make a quick decision. But at the end of the day, I didn't sign up for this, and look, I'm on a list. Now, this is a message that was also in that spam folder. It was the very first one. If you remember, if you look at this inbox or at this this folder, it was the very top one from a printer ink sale. It says, the subject line says, "Save up to 85% plus bonus 10% off coupon." So this spam message is going with just a straight, hopefully I've got a printer, hopefully I've got an interest in getting a deal on ink. And of course, the first thing that happens is, and again, this is in Yahoo. Yahoo protects me by blocking the images. And you can see in the center of the screen, there's just a big white space where the image would be. Now, in this particular message, you can't see it, but below this, there's another white space box. This entire message is made up of 2 HTML images. There's no copy, there's no text. So these days, many spam filters, the software behind them, will look at a message, they'll see 2 images, and basically go, yep, this is probably spam, we're just going to filter it. And not only that, but when we do filter it, we're not going to show you the images, we're going to block them on your behalf. This is fairly common. Now, A mistake that inexperienced mailers or new mailers make, or design-based mailers will make, is they'll ask their web designer, make me a really fancy email. And the web designer will make up a fancy email, and it might have one HTML image in it, or the better designers will make them up with 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 images. But the bottom line is, if your message is all images, the spam filters can't tell if it's real or designed to be real, and most likely it gets blocked, like this one did. This is what the message is really supposed to look like. It's a little complicated, but it basically gives me, now, and I'll tell you where the images are. The first image is everything from the very top of that page to underneath the green click here button in the middle. That's the one image at the top. The second image is the entire block underneath. You can see it looks like text, but actually it's a white image with text overlaid on it. Filters can't read this, they don't know what it is. And you can see the click here to unsubscribe blue link in the middle. You can't quite see it, but it's click here to unsubscribe. And there's another one at the bottom that says to unsubscribe from future mailings. Click here. Both of those pretend links are where this image itself links to. So technically you are able to unsubscribe from this message, but most likely it's going to be in your spam folder and you won't see it. So when you're doing your own designs, don't do this. Don't make a message heavily HTML. Make sure there's some text in there. First of all, send a real message, don't send spam. But make sure there's some text in there so that you can actually let the spam filters read what your message is and say, oh, there's a couple of images in here. There's enough text in here that I think this could be legitimate. I won't filter it. So that's just kind of what happens in the background when the companies are filtering spam messages. And every company filters different. They have a little bit different rules. So what can you do? What can you learn from this session? First of all, pay attention to your from address. Make sure that the from address is something that your reader would recognize. Don't change it all the time. Get one and set it. If your message is all text, but it's got no character to it, if it looks just straight up like a spam message, people won't receive it very well. Make it look like the way you would send it if you were sending it legitimately. So your signature line would have more information in it than just your name. And if you're tempted to make one giant HTML images or just even two, don't do that either, because that's going to get you filtered. So just from a design perspective, the overriding principle is try to be real. Make your message look like a real message. Do not get hung up on creating an incredibly beautiful template. Make a nice simple template, easy to see, easy to read. Make sure there's text in it. Make sure it's personal, it's got some character to it, and the from address is somebody that your reader would recognize and come to recognize over time. That's it. That's what we can learn from spammers. Now, email marketing is what we do. We can do the work for you. Go to zenmarketing.com/help to learn more. If you want to learn how to do it yourself, we've built a great little training program. Go to nospamemailmarketing.com. There's some training videos there that are free. You can learn a bit more. You can learn a bit more like how professionals do email marketing, and there's some great tips in that. Hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you again next time.